Hello everybody, another one of my videos. It's going to be on multiple topics today. Also, I'm going to be explaining my first experience with extraterrestrials and how I made contact, and also the corruption that I was going through and how it played a part in me not being able to trust people to tell them about my experiences and stuff that I codedly told people on the cell phone while stuff was happening to me corruptedly through the government, which I had to send coded messages through to somebody to basically be able to decode it when I got arrested in 2019. But this person, I sent a coded message in 2014 through 16, even explained to that person how I made my first alien contact. Now, to get into the whole story, 2014 was about 5 years after I got framed for something I didn't do, and I was suffering from a domestic terrorist cell. Non-Muslim. These people ain't. They're not Muslim. Like their religious belief is actually revolved around Mennonite and other forms of Christianity, and also like Judaism. This was before I was Muslim and everything. But 2014, I began a new job at Flying J Truck Stop out on Interstate 78 as a janitorial maintenance person. So I had to go to Walmart because I was a cook at a restaurant right next door. So I had to drive to Walmart in Lebanon, Pennsylvania to get work supplies for my new job. As I'm driving, a black SUV comes up behind me and pushes me off the road, and they hit the back of my bumper to my car. I spun out and hit a guardrail. When I smashed into the guardrail, my back end of my car flipped around, and from the impact of the seatbelt yanking me forward from the impact, I broke my ribs. Well, I basically totaled my car, and I even tried to call the 911 dispatcher, but I called the non-emergency number because to me it wasn't really that much of an emergency besides I was hurt. And I asked for an ambulance. Well, the person who answered the phone sounded like Matthew Templin of the Jonestown State Police, who also lies about a lot. But the person denied me an ambulance. About a week, week and a half later, I went to Route 501, Interstate 501, I think they call it in Pennsylvania, up towards Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. There's a big, beautiful mountain there. I was at this cabin on the side of a cliff, and I was talking about everything bad I did in my life, everything good I wanted to do, and what was holding me back from living my life, including government corruption and abuse of government in the United States, and technically organized domestic terrorism. How I was being terrorized because of stuff that I knew about what people did, but these people kept running to the police, including multiple murder attempts in my life, etc. And as this is all happening, I felt like somebody was staring at me. Mind you, I'm in the middle of the woods in a mountain. So as I'm sitting there, I glanced out the right side of my eye, and when I looked, I seen this big eyeball-shaped, metallic-looking like object in the sky. It looked like a giant eyeball, and I don't mean giant like this. I mean like giant, like the size of a school bus giant. And when I looked at it, it was so high in the air that it was, you couldn't hear it, and the only reason why I saw it is because it wanted me to see it. I looked at it; it looked like a giant eyeball, big metallic, big lens in the middle, and when I looked at it, it flashed like taking a photo of my face. And at that moment, as I'm still like this, I began to think stuff like it was really happening. Like that was going to happen to Earth, or stuff that was going to happen. But the thing is, that event really happened. So I get out my car. I got scared. I get out my car. I jumped up and I looked at this object. It was probably about maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. If not that, a little later. Because I used to go there every time I was stressed out. That was my talking spot. And basically, this thing bounced. It went doo doo, and then it shot straight up. After that, three lights illuminated to the western part of where I was looking at, to the right side, and they shot across. It was big amber colored lights, and they lit up one by one, right? And then they shot across the sky. When I mean shot across, I mean like if you were looking at the sky, it was there 1 second, and then it went, like it wasn't like it took a little bit of time. It was instantly, right? And then they stopped about maybe 400 or 500 feet above that metallic ball, and then they shot up one by one, right? That was actually an investigation that was going on. That when I got arrested by the FBI, that's the only thing they were interested in, was they wanted to know how I knew all that, because unfortunately he said it's an investigation that's still going on. And I told him, I was like, well, that's the first time I actually seen these things and technically made contact with them. But it wasn't the last time. This was back in 2014. I still got pictures and stuff that I just recently took of the same objects that the military's still investigating. But that's about my first contact with extraterrestrials. Now, in a little bit, I'm going to get to in 2015 where I actually seen them face to face. But before I do all that, the corruption, just to clear smoke, the corruption ring that I've been fighting against for the past 12 years, which is also technically under federal law a domestic terrorist cell that got organized connections within the government, including the United States Navy, also links up to the Baney house out in Myerstown, Pennsylvania, where I caught my charge. And I got legitimate documented evidence on that. Just saying. Like this guy right here. Doesn't he look chunky and old? That man is affiliated with a meth sex trafficking ring out based in Myerstown. This guy admitted to me he raped a 16-year-old Iranian girl. He also is a part of the same meth trafficking, sex trafficking ring, including little kids. Like they would literally sex traffic out little kids. Now, this is really good. That's a tri joint military operation by 3 foreign militaries based on the layout of the Baney House. The Baney House Hotel out in Myerstown, Pennsylvania. That's a multiple, non-United States, but a multiple military operation that was going on for years. Actual military. It was one of their training exercises, actually, because they were planning to actually raid the Baney House. Not for me, though. That's the news clipping when I got arrested. That looks just like the other guy, right? The one that was with the gray shirt. But that's not the other guy. That's the man that when I lived in his house, I had 3 murder attempts taken out of my life. But unfortunately, if you talk with a good accent like this and you got a military history, the government's going to automatically be on your side, no matter what type of criminal activity you're in. This man admitted to me he used to drive around small towns. He admitted to me this one night when he was drunk. He used to be my landlord. He lived upstairs from me. This man admitted to me he drives around small towns, that he always keeps a black silk dress in the back of his car, and he pays 14-year-old Mennonite girls about $40-50 for oral sex. He admitted this to me to my face. Now, to get back, there's a ton more, but this is just a little bit of a peeper. 2014, the same woman or female that set me up and framed me with this whole blackmail corruption ring, Um, when I started speaking like this about them, they actually bragged about it on social media how they were going to try to kill my nieces and nephews, which I posted a video of them on my TikTok. But this right here was ruled an electrical fire. They thought my nieces and nephews were sleeping inside the house. Unfortunately, four things. Electrical fires don't start with gasoline poured in the basement, because when I got there the next day after the fire, there was an empty gasoline container on the corner of the building that wasn't my brother's or the kids. First thing. Second thing, electrical fire don't leave latex gasoline soaked gloves on top of a rock in front of the house. That's second thing. Third thing, electrical fires don't kick in the basement window to dump the gasoline. And fourth, but very strong, electrical fires don't brag about it on Facebook. Just saying. They don't brag about it before they do it. See, the thing is, now this one. That's what the person claimed as they were texting my phone trying to set me up in this blackmail ring. They claimed that they were in 3 different states, 3 different names. You know the whole whip-de-doo, right? But what they didn't realize is this right here is my lawsuit against the state and the federal government, because these people use military acting as domestic terrorists, because they were terrorizing me because of stuff I knew, not over crimes I committed. And the thing is, if you use the force of violence to make somebody change their life or try to inflict fear on them, you're a terrorist. No matter if you're military or not, you're a terrorist. But Civil Lawsuit Amendment 14, Section 1 states, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state within they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any law deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Now, that's in the Constitution. All that right there is crimes, not crimes, stuff that was committed against me with corrupt backing of the government, because when I tried to do the right thing, they denied me my 14th Amendment multiple times. These are all the places I'm suing. I got my whole lawsuit ran out, but this is the same information that I sent worldwide, because these people committed crimes worldwide, including just for having somebody in the Navy a part of their organization, you're automatically considered a domestic terrorist cell, because now you got active military funding your criminal organization. They're military trained, they're active military, so technically you're a domestic terrorist, and that United States Navy personnel is a domestic terrorist. I don't work with the United States government. I was never a police officer. I was never in the United States Navy. But 3 things I specialized in is explosives, medical, and gathering intelligence. I'm not going to say who it's from. I'm not going to say how I got trained, but that's my specialties. Now this right here, that's yours truly when I got arrested. I made news headlines and everything. Now this right here, to get back to the whole alien stuff, this right here is a NASA picture that NASA just released a couple months ago. Okay? Now, this right here, I think everybody's seen this clipping before. It says, Indonesian military says all 53 crew members of a sunken submarine are dead after the wreckage was found off the coast of Bali, right? Now, the United States Navy went over there and basically, how could I say this? Said whatever did it left a magnetic pulse. That there was a magnetic field around it. And the way the submarine was cut, it was cut completely with lasers. Like it was an energy directed beam. The other word for an energy directed beam is lasers. Now, I know people are gonna, you're using the same stuff. It's a lot of information. You just can't get through it with one video. So pardon me on that one. The three lights, the black and white one's a military photo that the military took. That right there, the orange ones, is what I took last winter. But I told the government about that before I even got arrested. I even told people in prison about it too. Just like I told people in prison about the submarine that was going to get cut in half. Then, you want to see something crazy? They said the United States military was what started the wildfires out in California. What you guys don't realize is your government's not as much technological advanced as they think they are. But if you watch this video, it's apocalyptic events of 2020. Every single one of those apocalyptic events was in that coded message that I told that person in 2014 through 16. That's all documented through my phone, through the internet, through the FBI out in California, everything. See, the thing is, if you're fighting a corruption ring, you're going to want people in other states to know stuff about you. So basically, the only thing you got to do is go back and decode it. Now, these are all, you see that little triangle one right there? These are all alien tracking devices that military and government officials found in stuff that fell out the sky. Now, that's a close-up of it, right? But this is where it's going to get pretty interesting. Since I was a kid, I realized I had this thing in my finger. Years ago, I tried to cut it out. It's right there. It's a perfect shape of a triangle. Right? So, to get back to other stuff. See, people always want top dog evidence and stuff like that. How about this one? How I told people about how that orange one came out the sun. You see that? Just like that magnetic field that's headed straight towards the United States came directly out the sun, just like I told people about that other thing that came out the sun. And this just happened a day ago. Like, it's supposed to hit today, the 31st of October. But my second contact, after these things were stalking me in the sky. See, the thing is, my corruption ring, information that I have against the people that were terrorizing me doesn't have nothing to do with my knowledge on the other stuff. That's the reason why I got out of prison. Not the corruption information, because I'm trying to sue the United States for that, because the corruption ring is actually what forced me to become a criminal. They forced me to break the law just to be able to live a free life. Mind you, I wasn't on drugs, nothing like that. I was being terrorized. I have information about numerous subjects, including extraterrestrials and stuff like that. That's what caught your government's attention to let me out of prison, because the stuff I was telling them was actually coming true. But in 2015, after I lost my jobs in my apartment where I was living because I got my ribs broken in that car wreck, after them people tried to run me off the road into the field, there was a black SUV that did it. I started camping at the bottom of the mountain, the same mountain where I made first contact. And then in early 2015, I was sleeping in this opening inside of the woods. I drove my car over a little bit of them small gravel rocks, and I slept behind trees. Well, one night in my car, I wanted to drink because it was cold outside. It was like a little rainy and stuff, and I was depressed and whatnot. And as I'm sitting there, this is where it's going to get good. I'm sitting there. It was a Friday. I'm sitting there. I'm about to take a beer because I got a beer from somebody. So I was going to go get a beer, drink, so I could go to sleep. As I'm going to do this, I started seeing like this red, glowy, like fog light type thingy that was coming from the woods. And as I looked to the right, I seen a woman. She was wearing like this all black stuff. It kind of looked leather. She was tall. She was taller than me. Not by much, but she was like maybe 4 inches taller than me. She was really slim, kind of like, not pale face, but like little color, like kind of like mine, but skinnier. Her face was like skinny. Well, as I looked at this person, I went to go look at my phone to see what time it was. This lady was like 60 feet away when I seen her. As I looked down, I looked back up, she wasn't there. I looked to my car window and she touched my chest. I literally, like, I thought I was sleeping. But when I thought I was sleeping, when I woke up, I went to my brother's house and he asked me if I was hungry and thirsty and if I needed money and anything like that. I looked at him, I was like, I was just here last night. Why would I need that stuff? I was like, I just got stuff last night. He goes, nah, that was 2 days ago. I was like, no, that was last night. Then my old landlord, the one that set me up in this corruption ring, and that was terrorizing me out in the mountains, even he himself asked me if I needed any food, if I wanted to shower or anything like that. And I told him, I was like, why would I do that? I was just here yesterday to get some of my things and stuff like that. Because I didn't let people know what I knew about the stuff they were doing. That's how you get a lot of information. You don't let people know what what you know about them. So he goes, no, that was 2 days ago. See, the thing is, the government documented it along with the Pentagon and NASA and stuff like that, that if you have alien contact, they call that a time lapse. You think that you're going to sleep and waking up and it's the next day, but it's called a time lapse because it could be days ahead. It's when you get abducted, and then when you come back, your time lapse is messed up. So that was my first time ever having physical contact, like actual touching contact. Then after that, I started seeing people that I worked with, and I started telling them stuff about the sky, just like the one at the Baney house in 2019. But the thing is, I totally told somebody about it in 2014 through 16. I even told her the clothing that people were going to be wearing as the stuff happened. Mind you, I stopped talking to this person in 2016. Now, I even told this person, put it like this, I even told this person in a coded message that I decoded, I actually got all that too, about the green plaid shirt that the guy was going to be wearing during that George Floyd riot, with him holding a black umbrella and he got beat to death by the rioters. I told her in the color of his clothing. I even told her about the fuel truck, the gas truck that ran into the crowd of people, and there was so much people hurt that they started throwing the bodies in the back of pickup trucks. Funny, it's not funny because people got hurt, but the most interesting thing is like I said, I started telling that person the coded message from 2014 to 2016. I stopped talking to that person after that. All this stuff happened in 2020, 2019. So how was I going to tell that person X amount of years ahead of time? It's not that you're a time traveler. That doesn't exist. Time travel does not exist. It's that basically when you're on a spiritual level, when you know something that's going to happen and a higher human race comes and they just show you what's going to happen, it's like a movie. They're going to tell you what's going to happen because everything's going to be manipulated and made to happen. But the thing is, corruption is the biggest cause of it. Nothing else besides corruption. It's like, you ever seen the movie The Truman Show with Jim Carrey, where your whole life's a TV show, where basically the world is supposed to revolve around you, when basically no matter what you do, you're being watched. And I don't mean by the government, I don't mean by the military, I don't mean by people being nosy. I mean by a higher race of people from another planet. That's what's happening to Earth. The Earth was under surveillance for hundreds of years. But the thing is, people started hiding stuff on the planet Earth through corruption, through lies, through even corrupt religion. I'm going to get into that in my next video, corrupted religion. It's not going to pinpoint any religion. It's going to be about how people use religion to put their own corrupt hidden agendas out including Freemasons, including the Skull and Bones, including the Illuminati. And the thing is, I speak freely about this because the thing is, ain't no person on this planet could hurt me. Because you figure this one, I die, you die, and I just go somewhere else. You might call it heaven, but the thing is, I know for a fact, ain't nobody on this planet experiencing leaving this planet. You might see it, you might get a glimpse of it, but you're going to be stuck here. Now, it's beyond comprehension. It's beyond most people's comprehensions. But the thing is, I'm going to get deeper into my stuff. And the thing is, it's actual truth because I could prove everything I'm saying. Just like I proved it to the United States military when I sent that information down to NASA down in Washington, D.C. I sent them 4 pages. Excuse me 1 second. I sent them 4 pages. Another thing I told that person in a coded message, you really look up this video though. It's called Apocalyptic Events of 2020. I told her about the horse that was going to be in front of the fire in Australia. I told her about the volcano down in Mexico with the green lights that showed up after that volcano erupted in the sky. How people were saying that there was green mysterious lights flashing. It wasn't generators. Because the generators ain't all the way up in the clouds. But my next video, it's not going to be today, but it's going to probably be next weekend. I'm going to get into that letter that I wrote to NASA down in Washington, D.C. I'm going to also try to upload, thanks to my one subscriber, because he helped me out a lot on like trying to get my videos to be better. The thing is, I still can't mess with the damn app, so I got to keep messing with it to see if I could get it to work perfect. But just be patient. Can you guys give me more time? I'm going to get into my letter that I wrote to NASA down in Washington, D.C. on my next video. It's the pictures I actually showed on... Give me 1 second. Like, I got the writing, but then I also got the pictures that I posted on TikTok and whatnot of that information that I wrote NASA. It doesn't even got nothing to do with the corruption ring. This is actual facts. This right here. This is all. It's not all what I know. But that's the information that I sent to NASA down in Washington, D.C., which got me out of prison. But, see, the thing is, my knowledge, because of the stuff that I experienced, I don't expect nobody to understand what I'm saying. Because a lot of people, they want to see it right here and now. But the thing is, think about it like this. If I'm trying to tell you the right thing to do, it's because you're not supposed to see the same stuff that I've seen. You're not supposed to be able to know the same stuff that I know, because technically in the United States, the government will kill you for knowing that type of stuff. Look what they did to John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy wanted to expose all Area 51. His own Secret Service, which was disguised with the CIA, killed John F. Kennedy. Shot him right in the face. If anybody ever shot a gun before, if somebody's head flies back like this, that means you got shot in the face. Just saying. Because if you get shot in the back of the head, your head's going to go forward from the force. But, not to get into that type of stuff. Stay tuned to my next video. Please, if you see this, subscribe. I'm going to keep trying to say it the way I can understand. I mean, I could explain it to you guys so everybody can understand where it's getting. But my next video, I'm actually read out some of the stuff that I told NASA about, that I linked up to the coded message in 2014, that I actually told somebody about every single thing that's on them papers 5 years before it happened. Stay tuned. You all have a good day. Try to stay safe out there. Watch out for that solar flare.